go find some deeper water to drive this thing in.
The engine is successful, but now it's time to get her wet and take her for a swim.
Yep, I'm ready.
Drive it straight in the lake. Let's see how
Straight
deep
into
we
the
can go. Gotta buckle up for this one.
All right, well, let's see what happens.
Well, we know if we suck up water, the engine's gonna be totaled. Yep. So we're really relying on that snorkel.
We really are.
We're literally just gonna drive this thing into the lake and just go deeper and deeper and really put it to the test. Oh my gosh. Sure this is gonna work, Matt?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, we are in the water. We are in the water. Oh.
Oh, I've got like no power.
Are you in the right gear?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we're gonna be able to get out. Did it pop out of gear? Oh, the jet ski's gonna go. Uh-oh. Oh no. What happened? It popped out of gear for a second.
No, I stopped for a second. Trying to make sure.
Matt, we're taking on some water. Oh no! I think we just sunk.
That's not good.
I don't think that it's supposed to do that.
It's really like stuck.
We gotta just keep shaking.
Come on. It's not moving at all.
It did feel like it did for a second.
It's doing something as I turn.
We are officially like ankle deep in here, Matt.
Well, I don't really want to turn it off because then the water can come in the exhaust.
Oh! Okay. I didn't expect it to be like that.
Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh.
Help! Help! We're stuck. The car's still running though. Is it down on power so much? Because I think the exhaust is underwater.
Is that what happened?
Like it won't rev up very far. I guess we can just get out and go get a tow strap.
Well, it's deeper on this side.
Yeah.
I mean, we could try like rocking it, but
Yeah, let's see what happens.
hang on. Can you hold for a second?
Yep.
Let me see how deep she is here. Well, it's not even knee deep, but the car is somehow sunken really deep.
All right. I think we need a strap. Pull it out.
So Matt has to run back to RAR Garage so he can get a tow strap because that's the only way we're gonna get this CRV out of the lake. It just stalled while I was sitting in here. It's dead. Okay, we might be in some big trouble now because the engine just stalled. That's the one thing we needed to not happen. Because now water is gonna be coming up through the exhaust and filling the engine. It's not turning on, it's not cranking, and Matt just left. So when he comes back, we're gonna need a bigger truck to pull this thing out, I think. Maybe the monster truck. We're gonna need a bigger truck.
Oh yeah?
The engine stalled.
Oh gosh. Okay. I'm bringing the work truck. We should be all right. We're there. All right, we're at the big truck. It's still running.
That's the fan.
Oh.
I was in there and I felt like it got quieter, so I looked at the RPM and it said 0.
I'll try and pull it up. Good tension on it. I'll try and steer the car up. All right, start pulling. We're going. This thing is full of water. Look at that. I want to see if it starts now. Nope. All right. Well, figure out what the heck happened. I mean, hopefully this kept the water out and the engine's okay.
Oh, she's totaled. Time for a new engine.
Time for another engine.
An engine a day keeps the water at bay.
All right, we got the CRV here. It didn't start the other day when we drove it in, so I'm gonna hop in it and see if it'll start now. Maybe something dried out a bit. Let's just see if it'll start on its own. Oh man, it is so nasty in here. Full of mud and all kinds of gunk. The lights, we get lights. Okay, it's trying really hard to start. Let's open the hood. Well, not really sure. Oh yeah, look at all the water coming out. It's probably hard to turn over right now because the exhaust filled in with water when the engine shut off in the lake. So I'm gonna put a jump pack on it, see if I can get this thing to start up. The fact that it's turning over gives me a bit of hope. Still doesn't want to start. Trying to look at my oil here to see if there's maybe water in the bottom end. Doesn't seem like it. Not looking too promising.
Well, I actually might be right. This thing really could be totaled. So Matt's gonna have to pull this thing back to our garage, really open it up and see what's wrong with it.
Back to the garage. We got it in the shop. I'm gonna pull these spark plugs out real quick, make sure no water's in there. Well, these spark plugs aren't dripping wet, so probably wasn't the problem. But if there's so much water in the exhaust that's kind of creating too much back pressure for the engine to turn over, pulling the spark plugs out will at least alleviate that pressure, and it should turn over now. Okay, maybe not. Let me go grab the jump pack one more time. All right, maybe that'll do it. It's really not turning over, so that's not a great sign. What I think I'll do is I'll try and turn the engine over by hand and see if it's actually seized up. Oh yeah, engine turns over fine, so that's good. Okay, now that I've turned the engine over by hand, I'm gonna try and crank it one more time. I don't understand what's happening now. I think what might have happened is the starter's going out. I think I might have a spare. All right, that's the starter removed. And here's the spare from the parts car. And to test it, I'm gonna take the leads here and hook them to it before I put it in, just to see if it'll spin, because that'll confirm whether or not the starter is bad. If you watch right here, you should be able to see this spin. Okay, well, it didn't spin. Somewhere we're not getting power to it. Okay, I'm realizing my problem was that for my test, the starter motor wasn't grounded because it's not bolted up to the engine. That kind of makes sense. It's not gonna run without ground, because otherwise it's not a completed circuit. No big deal, we'll just bolt it in. Oh dang, that's a new one. Apparently, the starter motor must be different on manual transmission cars, or else on manual CRVs, because this came out of an automatic CRV. And yeah, the flange is different. That stinks. Okay, so here's a test. If we put positive right where it needs to be on the starter and we ground it, works exactly how it's supposed to. This is our known good one. This is the one just came out of the lake. Power where it needs it, and we go and ground it, see what happens. Nothing. Yeah, nothing at all. So this starter, definitely bad. All right, rather than buying a new starter, what I'm gonna try and do is take this old one apart to save this bracket and then put this bracket onto here, because that really seems like it's the only difference between them. We'll see if that's possible. I don't know if it is.
This fix is way more serious than we imagined. Matt has pulled out so many different pieces and still hasn't gotten to all of it. So he's got to keep going and go a little bit deeper to see if he can get this thing running, or is it totaled?
Yeah, I don't think there's any saving this. All right, so I put this starter motor together with the parts from the bad one that I needed to bolt it up, but then I used the good parts from the good one. Let's see if it works. There we go, that's what we wanted to see. All right, so now I think I have a working starter motor that'll work in the car. All right, this just goes in here. I think that's good, let's just put power back on. Okay, we've got our new starter motor back together. New starter motor, and spark plugs are still out, so I'm gonna try and crank it over, see if it turns. Perfect. That's exactly what we wanted to hear. Put these spark plugs back in and see if it starts. I think if it starts, it's gonna blow a ton of water out the exhaust. It's not starting, but there's a lot of water coming out of the exhaust. I've got my intake opened up so I can spray some starting fluid in it. Try and start it, see what happens. Okay, that wasn't a full start, but that was promising because I heard a couple of ignitions, which is telling me that we are getting spark, but we may not be getting fuel. So that's what I need to check right now and see what's going on there. All right, so that wasn't very definitive one way or another, whether or not I still have spark. I'm gonna pull the spark plug out, plug it back into here, and kind of rest it right on that so it's grounded. We should see a spark right here at the tip of the plug when I crank it over. It only sparked what appeared to be one time, and when it did that, you could hear the engine kick over a little bit. I'm gonna switch out the ignition module. See if we've got more consistent spark now. The spark plug kind of moved, but one thing I could tell was there was no spark still. So there's something else going on here. I've been messing with this for a little bit. I think I might have figured out what's going on. We come in here, right where all the water was flooding into the car. This is where the ECU for the car lives. And if you don't know what an ECU is, ECU stands for Engine Control Unit. That's basically the computer for the car, controls the engine. So I removed it and found a lot of water. I've got it on the workbench here, all taken apart. And if you look, you can see all of this mud inside of it. These pins here were packed full of dirt, super wet. You can see some of the mud in there. Lots of corrosion. I've already cleaned some of it out, but it's not looking good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and dry it out and see if I can get this to work again. Well, I gave it about a day to kind of dry out, and I cleaned as much of the mud off as I could. I'm gonna put this back in here, plug it in, and see if the car will start. All right. That makes me very happy. It seems like we only had minor damage overall to the car. I'm gonna see if I can find a way to maybe waterproof the starter motor, or maybe it was just because that one was really old, hard to say. But I know one thing's for sure, I need to find a different location for that ECU if this thing's gonna have any chance of going into deep water again. Before I work on this thing any further, I'm gonna take it outside, we'll clean it off, and we'll bring it back in. Okay, there's another problem. I can't get it into gear. I think there's something wrong with the clutch or the throwout bearing. Something's stuck and isn't disengaging the clutch. I gotta take a look at that before I can drive it. This is the clutch slave cylinder here, which is like a hydraulic device that pushes on this here, which is the clutch fork, which should be moving the throwout bearing inside of the transmission bell housing there. So when I step on the clutch pedal, this should move this fork. It's definitely moving. Clutch disc seems like it's probably seized to the flywheel. The next best thing I can do is just let the car warm up, and maybe the heat from the engine will help release that. Start it up again, and I'm just gonna push it out of the garage and we'll let it run out there for a little while. All right, well, it's been running out of here. It's definitely up to temperature now. Let's take a look and see. Not gonna work. Okay, so the next thing I wanna try is I'm gonna shut the engine off so I can get it into gear. I'm gonna try and start it. Wow. Oh, I think I got it. We can get it into gear now with the engine running. Fixed that problem.
Looks like Matt got the CRV running, but it is far from water ready. Make sure you subscribe to RAR Garage because Matt's not gonna give up until this thing can drive underwater.